Hey guys, Vanessa here with Notary to Notary, and in this training video, we're going to go through a sample refinance closing, and I have here to help me Miss Ashley Kaiser.
Hey guys.
And what this video is going to teach you, we're going to go over how you would typically go through a closing, how you would introduce documents, and then we'll even go over some questions that the signer may ask you during a typical closing. Ready to get started? Okay, so from this point, we're going to pretend that you've already come into the client's house and you're seated at their table. The first thing I always do is ask the signer for their ID. Do you have your ID?
Yeah, I do right here.
And the reason why I ask them this now is because a lot of times the signers don't have it ready at the table. It could be upstairs, it could be in their car, and you don't want to get deep into the signing and realize, hey, they have to go upstairs or outside to get their ID. So always start first with their identification. The next thing I do is I ask them if they have pens. Now, due to COVID, typically everyone has their own pen, but for this purpose, we're going to assume that she doesn't. Do you have a pen?
No, I don't.
See? Okay. Then I also give them one of my business cards. And the reason being is even though you're doing a loan closing, a lot of people will still call you for general notary work after you've done their loan closing. And they can share information with their friends and family as well. So, I almost forgot the most important part, the stamp. Okay, so now we're ready to rock and roll. So the next thing I'm going to do is give them a copy of their unsigned documents. And the reason why I do this in the beginning is because it helps the signer feel more comfortable and they don't feel like they have to read every single page because they have a copy that they can review later. So this is a copy of your unsigned documents that we're going to go through now. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, so then we go through the actual closing. Now, I always tell you guys, loan closings can vary. It's not always the same. It depends on the lender and the title company as far as what documents you'll have to get the borrower to sign. But this is just an overview of what you may see, and we're going to go over some common documents, okay? And I'm also going to tell you how I introduce them. So the first thing we're going to do is your final closing statement, also sometimes seen as the ALTA statement. It's a breakdown of all the debits and credits that goes into your closing. So we're going to sign, you're going to sign the very bottom. And I always tell the borrower to sign the way their name is printed, but don't get caught up on that. People have their own signatures, but I just say it in the beginning. I also let them know what date to sign. You would be surprised how many people don't know what the date is. So we're going to sign December 1st, 2020. Okay. Now, I also only present the documents to the borrower that need to be signed. So a lot of times loan closing packages will have extra pages that don't need to be signed, instruction pages, or just different lender docs that aren't necessarily for the borrower. Could be for the settlement agent, could be for the lender, could be a number of things. So I don't present those. The next document we're going to do is the closing disclosure, which is arguably the most important document in a loan closing. Now, the closing disclosure shows everything about the loan, pretty much. So the loan amount, the interest rate, the estimated monthly payment, if they have escrow set up, and if they do, what's included. So like property taxes, insurance, things like that. It also shows their cash to close. So on their closing disclosure at the bottom, it's going to say from or to borrower. The amount there is, if it says from borrower, that's what they have to pay at closing. If it says to borrower, that's what they're getting back from the closing. It also says at the top the loan term, so a 15-year term or a 30-year term, and it also tells them what kind of interest rate they have. Typically, it's a fixed rate. Another important page in the closing disclosure is the third page, which shows all their payoffs and payments. And that's really important because you may have that question asked. A lot of times when people refinance, they have other debts included into the loan as a payoff. So they may have credit cards or car loans or different things like that. And they want to make sure all of their payoffs are included. So that's going to be on that third page of the closing disclosure. Also, on the very last page of the closing disclosure, if you ever need to call someone and you don't have an instruction sheet or anything like that, the very last page always has the lender information, so the loan officer's number also, and the settlement agent or the closing agent. Okay, so we're going to sign the very last page and date. Also, when the borrower is reviewing documents, you can go ahead and complete any pages that you have. I don't have any to do yet, but if I did have, let's say, a Patriot Act form or any other affidavit I need to complete, I could be doing that now while she's signing. Oh, thank you. Affiliated business disclosure shows you the other businesses and organizations that your lender works with. Helpful tip, if you're looking for title companies that you can network with, they always have their companies that they work with, and then that's a way that you can get direct title company work as well. So, affiliated business agreement disclosure, we're going to sign the very second page.